Let's face it, the Middle East has always been a hotspot of geopolitical intrigue, and this year is no different. The U.S. military presence in the region resembles an elaborate chess game, with strategic moves and countermoves, often dictated by the ever-evolving landscape of alliances, threats, and political dynamics. The big players: aircraft carriers and fighter squadrons. The U.S. has ramped up its military assets in the Middle East. This includes the deployment of aircraft carrier strike groups, such as the U.S. Abraham Lincoln, replacing the U.S. Theodore Roosevelt, along with additional fighter jet squadrons and ballistic missile defense systems. These moves are intended to bolster defenses amid rising tensions with Iran and its proxies. The presence of these powerful naval and air assets sends a clear message of deterrence to potential aggressors. The aircraft carriers, with their formidable air wings, provide the U.S. with a flexible and rapid response capability, while the missile defense systems enhance the protection of both military and civilian targets in the region. These deployments are part of a broader strategy to reassure U.S. allies and demonstrate a commitment to regional security. The unseen guardians: naval and air defense systems. The U.S. has maintained a robust naval presence, including 2 Navy destroyers in the Gulf of Oman and the Eastern Mediterranean. This fleet is complemented by the amphibious-ready groups like the USS Wasp and the USS New York, which carry Marine Expeditionary Units ready for rapid deployment. These naval assets serve as both a deterrent and a quick reaction force in case of emergencies. The amphibious-ready groups are particularly versatile, capable of conducting a wide range of operations, from humanitarian assistance to combat missions. The strategic positioning of these ships allows the U.S. to project power and respond to threats across the region, maintaining a constant state of readiness. Additionally, the integration of advanced air defense systems, such as the Aegis combat system on Navy destroyers, provides a layered defense against missile threats, enhancing the overall security posture. Boots on the ground. Troop deployments across the region. Approximately 30,000 U.S. troops are scattered across key bases in Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. These forces are engaged in various operations, from counter-terrorism missions in Syria and Iraq to advisory roles and joint exercises with local military forces. The presence of U.S. troops on the ground serves multiple purposes. It provides a deterrent against potential aggressors, supports local forces in combating extremist groups, and fosters military-to-military relationships with host nations. These deployments also enable the U.S. to respond quickly to crises, whether they are natural disasters, political upheavals, or military conflicts. The training and advisory roles played by U.S. forces help to build the capacity of local militaries, contributing to long-term regional stability. Flashpoints: Iraq and Syria. In Iraq and Syria, around 3,400 U.S. troops are actively engaged in combating ISIS remnants and defending against Iran-backed militia attacks. The Al-Tanf garrison in Syria remains a pivotal outpost for U.S. operations aimed at containing Iranian influence. These regions are critical flashpoints where U.S. forces are directly involved in ongoing conflicts. In Iraq, the focus is on supporting the Iraqi security forces and preventing the resurgence of Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, while in Syria, the mission is more complex, involving both counterterrorism efforts and the containment of Iranian influence. The strategic location of Al-Tanf, near the tri-border area of Syria, Iraq, and Jordan, makes it a key position for monitoring and disrupting hostile activities. The presence of U.S. troops in these areas underscores the commitment to maintaining stability and countering terrorism in the region. The human element. Life on base. Life for U.S. service members in the Middle East is a mix of intense operations and moments of respite. Bases like Al Udeid and Qatar serve as critical logistical hubs, providing necessary support for missions across the region, while offering some comforts of home in a challenging environment. Service members often work long hours under harsh conditions, but the sense of camaraderie and purpose helps them endure the hardships. Facilities on these bases range from basic accommodations to more advanced amenities, including gyms, dining facilities, and recreational areas. These provisions are essential for maintaining morale and readiness. The unique cultural experiences and interactions with local populations also add a layer of complexity and enrichment to the daily lives of the troops. The political landscape, allies and sensitivities. Hosting U.S. troops is a sensitive topic for many Middle Eastern nations. While countries like Qatar and the UAE welcome U.S. military presence for security and training purposes, others are more circumspect, wary of domestic and regional repercussions. The political landscape in the Middle East is highly complex, with each country having its own set of priorities, alliances, and internal dynamics. The presence of foreign troops can be a contentious issue, often influenced by historical, religious, and political factors. For instance, in countries like Iraq and Syria, there is significant opposition to foreign military presence, fueled by nationalist sentiments and past experiences. On the other hand, Gulf countries, which face threats from regional adversaries, generally view U.S. military presence as a stabilizing factor. Recent escalations, assassinations and retaliations. The region has been on high alert following the assassinations of key figures like Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh and Hezbollah commander Fuad Shukr, attributed to Israeli operations. These events have spurred a wave of retaliatory threats and heightened military preparedness across U.S. bases. The targeted killings have escalated tensions, with Iran and its proxies vowing revenge. This has led to increased vigilance and defensive measures among U.S. forces, who are bracing for potential attacks. The ripple effects of these actions extend beyond immediate security concerns, impacting diplomatic relations and the broader geopolitical landscape. The cycle of retaliation and counter-retaliation creates a volatile environment where miscalculations can lead to broader conflicts. The U.S. military's role in such a context is to deter aggression, protect its personnel and assets, and support diplomatic efforts to de-escalate the situation. The strategic objective: deterrence and diplomacy. The primary goal of the U.S. military presence is twofold: to deter aggression from state and non-state actors, and to support diplomatic efforts aimed at de-escalating conflicts. This delicate balance requires constant vigilance and the ability to respond swiftly to emerging threats. Deterrence is achieved through a visible and capable military presence that signals to potential adversaries the high costs of aggression. At the same time, diplomacy seeks to address the root causes of conflicts and find peaceful solutions. The U.S. works closely with its allies and partners in the region to build a collective security framework and promote stability. This involves not only military cooperation, but also economic and political engagement. The dual approach of deterrence and diplomacy reflects the complexity of the Middle East, where force alone cannot achieve lasting peace. The future of U.S. military presence. As the year progresses, the U.S. military strategy in the Middle East will likely evolve, influenced by political changes, security needs, and diplomatic developments. Whether this will lead to increased stabilization or further conflict remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: the U.S. will continue to play a significant role in shaping the region's future. The future of U.S. military presence will depend on a variety of factors, including the outcomes of ongoing conflicts, shifts in regional alliances, and the broader international context. Technological advancements and changes in military doctrine may also impact how and where U.S. forces are deployed. The commitment to ensuring regional stability and protecting U.S. interests will remain a constant, but the methods and strategies may adapt to new realities. The ability to anticipate and respond to these changes will be crucial for maintaining an effective and sustainable military presence in the Middle East. And there you have it, folks. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button and ring the bell icon. Who knows? The next time you tune in, we might just be discussing the latest twist in the saga of international relations. Until then, stay informed and stay entertained.